Hey everybody, welcome to PBM's Video Entertainment, and welcome back to another episode of Thomas & Friends Import Reviews. So the last two videos, we reviewed the best of Thomas and the best of Percy. And some of you are probably thinking, wasn't Percy the last one in that collection? The answer to that is no, because there is another engine that we're missing, and I'm pretty sure y'all can guess who that is. And I'm of course talking about the really splendid engine himself, that being James. Because in today's video, we will be wrapping up the UK Thomas Best of collection by reviewing the UK version of the Best of James. So, without further ado, we will now jump into the history of the Best of James. So, the Best of James was originally released on the same date as the Best of Percy, that being February 6 of 2012, and it was distributed by Hit Entertainment. And the Best of James could also be found in the 3 DVD set with the Best of Thomas and the Best of Percy. And that is pretty much it for the history part. Now we'll jump into my copy of the Best of James. Alrighty, we will now take a look at my copy of the Best of James. And as you can see, this is similar to Best of Thomas and Best of Percy, but this time we have the splendid red engine himself. So on the front, here we have a CGI promo shot of James, Thomas Friends logo, 2.5 hours from 1984 to today. And there's the UK rating, Certified U, Regine Ireland, Best of James title card, and as you can see, it's in a red case. Well, this didn't originally come with the red case, it came with the yellow case. So what happened was, I, of course, also have Best of Percy. So before reviewing, of course, both of the DVDs, I swapped the cases. So right now, Best of Percy has the yellow case, and James has the red case, because, well, I figured this suits this one better because James is red. Anyways, the spine, Hit Entertainment logo, and then scrolling down here we have character profile of James, UK and Ireland ratings at the bottom, and then the back, best from 1984 to today. Thomas Friends logo once again, blurb if you want to pause and read all of this, classic animation to new animation. So of course here we have a promo shot from Keeping Up with James, and a promo shot from James Works It Out. I'm not sure which promo shot this one's from, per se, because obviously I don't watch, like, the Nitrogen era Thomas constantly, obviously, because that era is terrible. Anyways, link to the Thomas Friends website, copyright info, DVD's region 2, and running time is approximately 150 minutes long. And yep, here we have the disc, squish up version of the front poster art. And then here we have the Mega Bloks flyer once again. Yep, pretty cool. And now we will jump into the menu tour for the Best of James. Alrighty, so we have now jumped into the menu tour for the Best of James. So here we have play all episodes, select an episode, and subtitles on or off. Let's go to episode selection, shall we? So for our episodes, here we have James and the Coaches, James and the Express, and Old Iron, which all of these are narrated by Ringo Starr. So now all the remaining episodes on this DVD are narrated by Michael Angelis. So here we have Buzz Buzz, No Joke for James, Percy, James and the Fruitful Day, Time for Trouble, James and the Trouble with Trees, James and the Red Balloon, James and the Queen of Sodor, James Goes Too Far, James Gets a New Coat, Keeping Up with James, James the Second Best, James Works It Out, Tickle Pink, Steamy Sodor, James in the Dark, Toby in the Whistling Woods, and James to the Rescue. And that is it for the menu tour for the Best of James. Now we'll jump into my review and thoughts on the Best of James. So overall, do I recommend the Best of James? Now, here's something I want to talk about, and that is the episode selection. Now, don't get me wrong, we have a pretty good selection of episodes on this DVD, but there was 2 episodes that James stars as a supporting role and not the main character in those 2 stories. And those 2 stories happen to be Steamy Sodor and Toby in the Whistling Woods. And I could see why they decided to slap on those 2 episodes because, well, Hit Entertainment wanted to have the same amount of CGI episodes as they did with Best of Percy. Now, if I had to rank all the versions of Best of James, here's how I would rank them. Number 1's probably the US version. And then either second or third, I'm not sure which one I like best. Either the My First Thomas with James DVD from Japan and Australia, or the UK version of Best of James. Then last place, probably, Best of James and Edward. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't hate this, but I guess the reason why I put this because, well, I guess if it was like a James, like if it was just called the Best of James, like it would pretty much be like a little higher. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Of course, I do respect Edward, which I'm pretty sure all Thomas fans should respect Edward for sure. But anyways, yeah, this one's good. But if it wasn't like but if James didn't have to share a tape with Edward on this one, it would be like, you know, a little higher, if that makes sense. But I would say out of all these versions of Best of James, the US version nails it perfectly. Now, I'm not saying this because, well, I live in the United States or anything like that. I just think that, well, most of the episodes, like, make sense. And of course, I am nostalgia for this one. And I will say, James, he is definitely in my top 3 favorite Thomas characters of all time. Like, pretty much from the Steam team, pretty much. Anyways, back to the real question. Do I recommend this product? Well, if James is your favorite character, or if he's one of your favorites, the answer to that is yes. But of course, if he's not your favorite character, then the answer is no. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me, everybody, and I will see you all next time. Take care.